Don't be fooled by car ads and promos. The average car engine isn't designed to last for much longer than a decade. From turbocharged nightmares, complex electronic parts, and manufacturing flaws, the lifespan of a car engine is never what you're told at the dealership. But there are an elite few car engines designed to last not just longer than a decade, but literally a lifetime. Which engines are these and what makes them so special and durable? Stay with us in this video to find out these and more. Mercedes-Benz M111. There's no better engine to start with than the Mercedes-Benz M111. An engine that's not only a true workhorse. This straight four engine model first rolled onto the scene in 1992 and has remained relevant since, not just for doing its job, but for doing it so many years. Tasked with replacing the legendary M102, the M111 had big shoes to fill, and boy did it deliver. With cast iron block and aluminum alloy cylinder heads, this engine wasn't just durable, it was engineered to take a beating and come back for more. You'll find it under the hoods of some of Mercedes' most dependable cars, including the C-Class, E-Class, CLK, and even the SLK Roadster. It didn't need to be flashy or high-strung, it just needed to keep running, and that's exactly what it did. This engine only has power outputs ranging from 121 to 194 horsepower, meaning the M111 isn't exactly a speed demon, but that was never the point. It was built for longevity, not lap times. All it asked for in return was a little bit of love, like regular oil changes, basic maintenance, and maybe the occasional once-over. Sure, it had its quirks, like timing chain tensioner issues and the odd oil leak, but compared to today's overcomplicated turbocharged engines, the M111 is an absolute fortress. If you want an engine that shrugs off neglect and still delivers, this one's got your back. BMW M57. Just like the BMW M57, which frankly is a rare example of a Bavarian powertrain that puts durability first. Normally, when you think of BMW engines, it's more about complex systems that demand constant attention. But the M57 broke the mold from when it was first designed in 1998. This 3.0-liter turbocharged inline-six diesel was a revelation in reliability. It came in various flavors, with power outputs ranging from 148 to 282 horsepower, and it found its way into some of BMW's most beloved models, including the E39, 525D, E46, 330D, and E90 325D. Now, here's where things get interesting. The M57 is no ordinary diesel. It was designed to be strong and efficient, which is why it didn't just pass the 200,000-mile mark, but took it as far as 300,000 miles without breaking a sweat. That's the kind of longevity usually reserved for old-school Mercedes diesels, not high-performance BMWs. Honestly, compared to today's finicky, emissions-heavy diesel engines, the M57 was an absolute rock star. Volkswagen ABF. Speaking of engines that never give up on its owner, here's a hidden gem, the Volkswagen ABF. Not every legendary engine gets the fame it deserves, and the ABF is proof of that. Built from 1992 to 1999, this 2.0-liter 16-valve inline-4 wasn't just a reliable workhorse, it was a performance enthusiast's dream. With 148 horsepower at 6,000 RPM and 133 pound-feet of torque at 4,800 RPM, it wasn't the most powerful thing on the road, but it sure knew how to have fun. What makes the ABF special isn't just its power output, but rather its resilience. This beast was designed with a cast iron block, an aluminum head, and the kind of durability that makes car enthusiasts misty-eyed. It's no surprise that decades after it stopped production, people are still swapping these into older Volkswagen builds. And why wouldn't they? When an engine can take aggressive driving for over 250,000 miles and still beg for more, you know you've got something special. Sure, it had a few minor issues, but compared to modern engines drowning in electronics, the ABF was refreshingly simple and solid. Mercedes-Benz OM 617. Coming in at number 4 on our list, we have the Mercedes-Benz OM 617. You know those old Mercedes diesel taxis that just keep going? Yeah, this is the engine behind that legend. Built and released between 1974 and 1991, this 5-cylinder diesel quickly became the standard for longevity. With power ranging from 79 to 227 horsepower, it was never about speed, but let's be real. Who needs speed when your engine can outlive civilizations? This thing was built like a tank, featuring a cast iron block, a chain-driven single overhead camshaft, and an ability to absorb abuse like nothing else. It started life in the W115, a predecessor to the E-Class, and later evolved into turbocharged versions that powered the world's first turbo diesel production sedan, the W116 300SD. And let's not forget that this engine wasn't just a taxi driver's best friend. It was thrown into concept cars, off-road beasts, and even land speed record attempts. You ever see an old Mercedes from the 80s still running like it was built yesterday? Chances are it's rocking an OM 617 under the hood. Volkswagen Bub. Moving on quickly, let's check out the Volkswagen Bub, which is better known as the 3.2 VR6. Volkswagen has built some weird and wonderful engines over the years, but this one is special. Why? Not only because the VR6 was built with a unique, narrow-angle design, but also because it fits 6 cylinders into a compact package, making it perfect for transverse engine layouts. In the Mk4 Golf R32, it produced 237 horsepower. By the time it hit the Mk5 R32, that number climbed to 250. But the real magic of the VR6 wasn't in the numbers, it was in the sound. This engine had an unmistakable growl that made every drive feel like an event. And here's the kicker, it was incredibly reliable. Despite being a high-revving performance engine, the VR6 regularly hit 180,000 miles or more with minimal issues. Sure, it wasn't perfect as the timing chain's design needed attention, and the cooling system had its setbacks. But as long as you kept up with the maintenance, the VR6 was an engine that refused to die. Over-engineered, built to last, and offering one of the most satisfying driving experiences ever. The VR6 was an icon in its own right. But impressive as these first 5 might be, we're just getting to the really impressive mentions on our list, so be sure to stick around. BMW M50. Coming in at number 6, we have the BMW M50. Introduced in 1990 as a successor to the M20, this inline 6 wasn't just another step forward, it was a seismic leap. Offered in 2.0 and 2.5-liter configurations, it cranked out up to 189 horsepower, which, for the early 90s, was a pretty solid number. But the real magic was under the hood. This was the first BMW engine to feature Vanos, the variable valve timing wizardry that improved efficiency and performance in a way that would shape BMW's future. And if you think it was just some smooth revving, everyday workhorse, think again. The M50 was built so well that tuners quickly realized its cast iron block could handle absurd levels of boost. Just slap on a turbo and this thing transforms into a rocket without so much as a complaint. It even became the foundation for the high-performance S50, which powered the E36 M3. So, whether you're looking for an engine to drive daily into eternity, or one that's just waiting to be transformed into a powerhouse, the M50 is one of BMW's greatest creations. DW10 2.0 HDI. Switching over to the unfamiliar French territories next, let's see the DW10 2.0 HDI. Peugeot and Citroën aren't exactly known for building cars that last forever, but here's a shocker. They absolutely nailed it with this engine. French cars might have a reputation for quirky electrics and flimsy interiors, but when it comes to this engine, reliability isn't just a marketing gimmick, it's a fact. Built by the PSA Group, the 2.0 HDI was a workhorse of an engine, used in Peugeots, Citroëns, and even Ford and Volvo models throughout the 2000s. And here's where things get crazy. These engines have been known to rack up hundreds of thousands of miles with just routine maintenance. They weren't overcomplicated, they weren't bogged down by excessive emissions tech, and they were designed just to keep on working. They sip fuel, deliver strong low-end torque, and don't really care if you forget to change the oil once or twice. If you ever see an old Peugeot or Citroën still chugging along after decades on the road, chances are it's powered by one of these little diesel gems. Volkswagen 1.9 TDI. Speaking of indestructible diesels, as we gradually approach the end of our video, let's see Volkswagen's 1.9 TDI. More specifically, the AWX variant. Now, say what you want about Volkswagen's reputation, and yes, we all know about Dieselgate, but if there's one engine that refuses to die, it's this one. Sure, it smokes like a chimney in winter, and sure, it's not exactly the cleanest engine ever made, but you know what? It just keeps going. Found in everything from Volkswagen Passats to Skodas, this 130 horsepower diesel was built for endurance. It laughs in the face of cold weather, shrugs off bad fuel, and doesn't flinch at high mileage. In fact, these engines are still clattering their way across Europe, many of them well past the 500,000 mile mark. If engines had personalities, this one would be the grumpy old man who's seen it all, doesn't take nonsense from anyone, and somehow keeps getting stronger with age. Fiat Alfa Romeo 2.4 JTDM. For the 9th car engine on our list of the longest lasting engines, we take a quick detour to Italy to see the Fiat Alfa Romeo 2.4 JTDM. The Italian car manufacturing business is a field of gorgeous design, fiery performance, and let's be honest, a few reliability nightmares. But every now and then, an Italian engine defies expectations, and that's exactly what happened with the Alfa Romeo 2.4 JTDM. This wasn't just a diesel engine, it was a 5-cylinder symphony of torque and longevity. Used in cars like the Alfa Romeo 159, Brera, and even the Fiat Croma. For those who like their wagons with a side of personality, this 2.4-liter turbo diesel put out up to 204 horsepower, and despite its performance credentials, it was built like an absolute tank. Its cast iron block and robust internals meant that, with proper care, it could easily clear the 250,000-mile mark. That's not something you'd expect from an Alfa Romeo, right? It's the kind of engine that delivers the best of both worlds with strong power, a characterful growl, and an ability to outlast your expectations. Sure, it might require a bit more love than your average diesel, but when it rewards you with both performance and longevity, it's worth the extra effort. Ferrari F-133 V12. And as the last entry on our list, but not any less impressive and durable, the F-133 V12. Wait, what? A Ferrari engine that's as durable as the other beast we mentioned earlier? Unlikely as it sounds, this bad boy deserves its place on our list. Despite the Ferrari not being known for reliability due to most of their engines being high-strung exotic beasts that demand constant attention, this absolute monster that powered the Ferrari 550 Maranello is one of a kind. Displacing 5.5 liters and producing a glorious 478 horsepower, this was the last Ferrari V12 to come with a manual transmission, making it an instant icon. But here's the crazy part. If you take care of it, this engine will outlive you. Unlike modern turbocharged engines, which rely on complex forced induction systems, the F-133 is naturally aspirated, meaning it doesn't have all the high-strain components that tend to fail over time. Sure, maintaining it is cheap, but if you follow the service intervals and treat it well, it'll reward you with both mind-blowing performance and surprising longevity. There you have it, the 10 car engines built to last a lifetime. Which of these engines would you trust to last longer than your will to drive? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching. To enjoy more exciting videos, click play on the video on your screen, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you get notified when a new video drops.